Well, another startup has been minted into a unicorn, and that's after getting a big fat check of $185 million led by the private equity giant KKR. The newest unicorn is Livspace, and joining us now is the co-founder Anuj. Anuj, congratulations. A big day, a big milestone. I know the new fad is to say, oh, we don't care if we are valued at $1 billion. It's still day zero, but nevertheless, it is an important milestone.
Yes, no, thank you, Nayantara, and thank you for having me here. It's always great to get to talk to you guys. We feel thrilled, and I think more importantly, I think it's a validation of everything that we were building for such a long period of time, and then the potential of this business. So I think in the company, Nayantara, we still feel it's sort of ground zero, and we are barely 1% done. But having said that, I think firstly, the validation from such a strong brand name and the fact that we've actually been able to build a business that is thriving in a relatively complex industry makes us feel extremely honored and very, very stoked for the future.
Now, you folks have, of course, been building for a while. I'm sure it really helps that the property market is making a comeback. Now, Livspace, ladies and gentlemen, marries technology with interior designing. So you help save money. There are, other conveniences that are involved. So you tell us, Anuj, what's been happening on ground? Are you seeing a big pickup?
Yeah, Nayantara. So I think two things. One is that I think we as a company have actually created, a dominant player in the broader home improvement and home interiors economy. And I think through the years that we've built the company, and especially in the last 2.5 years, I think the consumer trust has migrated towards trusted, well-established omni-channel platforms. So I think that was a very big movement. And I think the other sort of broad trend that we saw was that the B2B side, the suppliers, the vendors in the marketplace, they actually woke up and concluded that trusted internet platforms are really pretty much the only way that they will actually continue to grow as small businesses and flourish in this economy. I think platforms like us, and we're very proud to say, are really the ones that have kind of architected the movement in this space. And I joke sometimes that we actually built Livspace into the dominant player in the space and have actually done a great job outside India, even in multiple countries in Asia, in a relatively tepid and a modest real estate economy. So now that we are actually already well established and in an economy wherein the middle class is growing and the real estate market is actually, looking extremely promising, I think we are really excited to what I feel could potentially be an extremely important, if not the most important company in my space, starting from India and now looking at conquering all kind of geographies, starting with Asia and then all over the world.
Okay, and I want to get a sense of what's happening in the private markets from you. You've come up with this big fat raise of $185 million. We do see private markets typically lag public markets, right? What I'm trying to get a sense from you is when you were doing this fundraise, is there still a sense of FOMO among VCs and investors? Are term sheets getting signed as quickly as they were? We've been hearing about how because of FOMO, it was all being done in 24, 48 hours.
No, I can speak about it from my own personal experience that capital raise, I think for us, given the fact that it's an extremely capital efficient model, just from a data perspective, my company actually is already profitable at the operation level in India. So unlike many other business models wherein Nayantara capital becomes the principal differentiation, our kind of models that we've created on the basis of great technology, very, very strong consumer experience, the ability to architect like a pioneering digital supply chain. We are very efficient and we are actually methodical about when we raise capital and who we raise capital from. So I think our process, and we're lucky that we were actually able to, and we've continuously been able to attract interest from very high quality investors, as you probably already know. But I think this process, like every other process, was built on top of the shareholders' belief in the great company that hopefully we're architecting, and then we're really sort of bringing in an inordinate amount of value building across the ecosystem, right? So at some point in time, this is a long journey. Company building tends to be a long journey. So you are, and I personally, and I think my board and my friends and my co-founder, we guys are very methodical and feel proud that we are actually able to attract very high quality interest in our company. And while I didn't experience any of the 24-48 hours, I'm actually extremely proud that a high quality brand and a partner like KKR took their time to understand the company and are willing to partner with me in orchestrating our vision over the next few years.
So tell me then, if it's gone the way you expected it to. So you mean you didn't have to tinker the valuation amount, the fundraise amount? What I'm trying to get as a bargaining power is still with the founders, or is it with the VCs?
Like in any goods, like I think that's one way to look at the market. But I think good quality ideas and good quality company will naturally gather a lot of interest from shareholders. Very similarly, very high quality investors, and you can look at our cap table to know the kind of names that I'm talking about. They actually also are, at the luxury of finding the best quality ideas. So my point is that in our case, let's just say that we've been lucky that we've been able to orchestrate, very successful and oversubscribed, financing rounds, and hopefully that is true for every other founder as well.
Okay. So Anuj, now tell us, what do you plan to do with all of this money? What's the POA?
I think two things, Nayantara. I think we have been able to create a business that is really we built it in India, and we were actually in 3 or 4 markets only as early or late as 2019. So we spent a few years in the 15-16 era, wherein my company was kind of founded and started commercializing. We spent the next 2.5 years in just perfecting the technology, the supply chain principles, and really providing what our consumer experience is, in the context of, I think, 2 or 3 metros, really, right? So if you see, we as a company are methodical and are believers that when you scale and create good quality playbooks built on technology layers, you can then massively expand. So from that point on, see what we've done. We are launching a city almost a month in India. Tier 2 in India, as we all know, is booming, and we are confident that Livspace, over a period of time, should be available in about 70 to 80, cities in India, including all the Tier 2 markets. We took the business outside to Singapore, which is, a very different geography from the traditional cities that you would imagine. But we created a very successful business actually just through COVID. Right? So we took the last 2 years to architect a business that is now delivering roughly about 20% of my overall top line. Margins are actually growing even faster than India. And we believe that the learnings from India and Singapore markets are actually now creating sort of 3 opportunities. One is I will invest a lot more in technology and supply chain expansion, brand building, to make sure that my core business continues to be extremely strong. I think that's one. Secondarily, look, I think Livspace is one of the very, very few ideas that actually in the internet space started in India and is actually flourishing outside India as well. So acceleration of launches, in new countries would become one of the very important consumption point of the new additional capital that we're raising. And I think thirdly, strategic investments, M&A and consolidation. We've already acquired a company called Canvas in Singapore. I think we're in the process of looking at multiple companies across countries in the value chain that matters to us. So I think you largely see our capital being consumed, in these 3 value creating activities. All right.
Now, home improvement, for obvious reasons, has been a hot space, right? Like all of us are stuck at home because of COVID-19. But as the world goes back to the new normal, offices figuring out what kind of models they want, schools reopening, do you expect the home improvement business at large to take a bit of a backseat as far as the consumer goes?
Actually, on the contrary, what our experience is that because of the last sort of 2.5 years, consumers and homeowners are actually investing even more because, emotions about safety and emotions about family tend to be long term. So I think what COVID has actually done is completely change the vectors of how consumers think about their own homes and the consumption points and the utilitarian value and the safety value of their homes. So the trends that Nayantara we are seeing in the market are people are buying larger homes, people are spending more amount of money on the renovation cycles, and over a period of time, people will invest even more money on increasing utilitarian and sort of safety-driven features in their homes. So, if at all, we are actually getting ready for what could likely be the biggest boom cycle to actually come for my industry. So we're excited.
Yeah, and the property market is making a comeback, and how after so many years, and that will of course be a multi-year cycle. Property markets don't just revive for a few weeks. With that, Anuj, here's wishing you all the very best. Once again, congratulations. It's a big milestone. Hope you guys have a good time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having us. All right, take care.